The spice route, also known as the Silk Road, was a network of ancient trade routes that connected the eastern and western regions of the world. These routes were used to transport a wide variety of goods, including spices, silk, precious metals, and other luxury items. The spice route was a vital trade route for many centuries, and it played a major role in the economic and cultural development of the world. The spice route stretched from the eastern Mediterranean to the East Indies, passing through many different countries and regions along the way. It was traveled by merchants, traders, and adventurers from all over the world, and it helped to spread culture, knowledge, and ideas. The route facilitated the exchange of goods and resources, and it helped to foster economic development and growth. The origins of the spice route can be traced back to the 2nd century BCE, when the Han Dynasty in China established a series of overland trade routes to the west. These routes were used to transport Chinese goods, such as silk and ceramics, to the western regions. At the same time, Western merchants were bringing exotic goods, such as spices and precious metals, to China. The spice route became even more important in the 7th century, when the Arab Empire conquered the eastern Mediterranean and gained control of the spice trade. The Arab Empire established a series of trade routes to the east, and they began to import large quantities of spices from the East Indies. These spices were in high demand in the western regions, and the Arab Empire was able to profit greatly from their trade. The spice route was a long and perilous journey, with many dangers and challenges along the way. Merchants had to contend with bandits and thieves, as well as harsh weather and rugged terrain. They also had to deal with the threat of disease, as many of the trade routes passed through tropical regions with high levels of malaria and other diseases. Despite the risks, the rewards of successful trade were great, and many people were willing to take the risk in order to profit from the lucrative spice trade. The demand for spices was high, and merchants were able to charge high prices for their goods. In addition to spices, the spice route also carried other valuable goods, such as silk, precious metals, and ivory. These goods were highly sought after by wealthy consumers in the western regions, and they helped to fuel the economy of the world. As the spice route traveled through different countries and regions, it helped to spread culture, knowledge, and ideas. It facilitated the exchange of goods and resources, and it helped to foster economic development and growth. The spice route was a major contributor to the global trade network that exists today, and it continues to be an important part of world history. The spice route was not just a trade route, but also a cultural exchange. Merchants and travelers along the route brought with them new ideas, religions, and technologies, which were absorbed and adopted by the various cultures they encountered. This exchange of ideas helped to spur the spread of cultural and technological innovations throughout the world. The spice route also played a significant role in the development of trade and commerce in the world. The demand for spices and other luxury goods helped to stimulate the growth of trade and industry in the regions along the route. The trade routes also helped to create new economic opportunities and wealth, which contributed to the overall prosperity of the world. In addition to its economic and cultural impact, the spice route also had a political impact on the world. The control of the spice trade was a highly sought-after prize, and many different empires and states fought for control of the route. The control of the spice trade gave a nation or empire a significant advantage in terms of wealth and power, and it helped to shape the political landscape of the world. One of the most famous examples of the political significance of the spice route is the Portuguese Empire's control of the spice trade in the 15th and 16th centuries. The Portuguese were the first Europeans to reach the East Indies by sea, and they were able to monopolize the spice trade by establishing a series of fortifications and trade posts along the route. This control of the spice trade helped to make the Portuguese Empire one of the wealthiest and most powerful empires in the world at the time. The spice route was a major driving force in the development of global trade, and it helped to shape the world as we know it today. The route facilitated the exchange of goods and resources, and it helped to foster economic development and growth. It also played a significant role in the spread of culture, knowledge, and ideas, and it helped to shape the political landscape of the world. The legacy of the spice route can still be seen today in the many cultural, economic, and political ties that exist between the eastern and western regions of the world. Despite its importance, the spice route eventually went into decline. The rise of sea trade in the 15th and 16th centuries made it easier and cheaper to transport goods by sea rather than by land. The Portuguese and other European powers established a network of trade routes by sea, which bypassed the overland routes of the spice route. This shift to sea trade led to a decline in the importance of the spice route, and it eventually faded into obscurity. However, the legacy of the spice route lives on today in many different ways. The route helped to shape the cultural, economic, and political landscape of the world, and it continues to be a fascinating subject of study and exploration. In recent years, there has been a renewed interest in the spice route, and many people are exploring the ancient trade routes and learning more about the history and significance of this important part of world history. The spice route is a testament to the enduring power of trade and commerce to shape the world. It was a vital trade route for many centuries, and it played a major role in the economic and cultural development of the world. The route facilitated the exchange of goods and resources, and it helped to foster economic development and growth. It also played a significant role in the spread of culture, knowledge, and ideas, and it helped to shape the political landscape of the world. The legacy of the spice route lives on today, and it continues to be an important part of world history.